From the lateral view in the walk, you can see that Finn has an overall lack of impulsion. He is clearly loading the forelimbs more heavily than the hind limbs and has a low head carriage. He throws his head up as he has to walk up the incline. He has a head nod as the left fore strikes and stretches his head and neck out as the right hind limb is placed down. He shows poor extension of the shoulder, which limits forelimb protraction. The tarsal also has poor flexion, and swelling was palpated here. The stifle and hip are carrying the leg forward with circumduction and momentum. There is excessive pelvic excursion, and Finn overtracts bilaterally, as well as coming close to pacing in some strides. As Finn transitions from the walk to the trot, you can see that he throws his head up, showing he's largely uncomfortable as he struggles to balance himself. From the lateral view in the trot, we can see that Finn's head nods down and low as the right hind limb strikes. This is quite slight. His shoulder has poor extension, which limits protraction, and he has limited retraction and protraction in the hind limb. He's clearly using the forelimbs to pull the hind limbs through due to a lack of hind limb propulsion, which may be due to a lack of musculature. He has choppy strides in the hind, and his stance phase is longer on the forelimbs than the hind limbs. He has poor range of motion in all joints, but especially extension of the tarsals.
From a cranial view at the walk, you can see some mediolateral circumduction of both forelimbs from the carpus down. There is also a significant thoracolumbar sway, with more barrel being seen on his left as he walks as well. He does consistently walk on 2 tracks, but his head carriage is low, and there is also a very slight upwards head nod seen when the left forelimb strikes the ground. From a caudal view, there is intermittently slightly more vertical displacement from the left hip, however this isn't significant. Again, there is mediolateral circumduction of both hind limbs, and he really slams down the right hind, which can be heard better than it can be seen.
Initially, as Finn moves into the trot, he throws his head up going into trot transition. It can be seen from the cranial view that the left fore lateral medially circumducts, whereas the right fore has no circumduction. Additionally, the handler observed Finn's struggle to stay straight when leading on his right-hand side. Finn did as well move on 2 tracks. From the caudal view, the hind limbs were seen to be mediolaterally circumducting. It was also observed that Finn, like in the cranial view, is also moving on 2 tracks. Pelvic displacement is more subtle in the trot but appears to be more present in the right.